Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Before we get to my third day at the Magical Readathon, I have a little story to tell you. I heard from Nasilla, and the halls of Orilium Academy are all abuzz with rumors. Everyone's heard of the three fates, Atropos, Lachesis, and Clotho. Their names bring forth visions of scissors cutting a thread, ending someone's life, because they are in control of all of humanity's destinies. What isn't common knowledge is the story of the fourth sister. She was immortal. She lived a normal mortal life, married, had children, their children had children, and their children had children, all down through the generations. So you may be asking what this has to do with Nasilla and Orilium Academy. Well, there are 3 cousins in attendance at school, and this powerful trio holds the distinction of being at the top of their class in conjuration. There's no spell they can't master. And they also excel in divination class. Now, rumor has it they are descendants of that fourth sister, but they also hold some of the abilities of the 3 fates themselves. Now, unfortunately for Nasilla, they have all met our little rambunctious scamp, Fenris, and not always under the best of circumstances. You see, on the second day of school, Fenris chased a cat through the cafeteria, running under chairs and knocking tables before leaping onto the buffet table, which caused potatoes and soup to go flying in every direction. The bulk of it landed on the third sister. Then later that night, Fenris was caught in the common room over the dorms, gnawing on a boot. The favorite boot of the third sister, who immediately reached her boiling point and vowed revenge on Fenris and Nasilla. Luckily, though, for Nasilla, the 3 sisters don't always agree and see eye to eye on everything, their temperaments being so different from one another. The first, the eldest of the sisters, is more happy-go-lucky, kinder, gentler spirit. The second, she's indifferent. As long as it doesn't affect her directly, she's ambivalent and does not care. The third sister is the hothead of the family and the quickest to retaliate. So late that night, bright lights were seen flashing under the doors of the sisters, and you could hear the name Nasilla and Fenris being chanted before all went quiet in the dorm. The next morning, Nasilla woke up and looked across the room. There, laying underneath her door, was a card. It wasn't there before she went to bed, and she has no idea what's about to start happening to her. She doesn't realize, like we do, that this is actually how the deck of fate enters her life. See, every morning, Nasilla is going to wake to a different card being slid under her door, and that card will determine how her day will play out. And it will affect me too. This little fate deck is going to have 3 different types of cards in it. There will either be something good that the first sister added to the deck. There will be a neutral event that the second sister threw in at the last second because she had to. Or there will be something to create some hardship in Nasilla's day by the third sister, who is determined to get even. So, shuffling my little fate deck, and let's find out what was underneath her door on that very first morning. I'm scared. Fenris ate your homework. Lose 30 minutes of class time redoing the assignment. Lovely. So, yeah. All right, to figure out how that's going to play in, let's look at our calendar, because today is Monday the 7th, and those test dates are coming closer. Next, we need to look at today's schedule. I haven't looked yet. So we've got 5 classes on the schedule for the day. So what we're going to do is find out what class Fenris eats my homework for. To do that, we're going to use the river rocks. I'm going to draw a number, and that will be the class that this fake card pertains to. Now, before I do that, though, I have to give y'all full disclosure. It is already 12:30 on Monday. I missed my morning class, so I already missed shapeshifting once. Because, yeah, it's Monday, and that's just how it goes. Me and morning classes don't always get along. But I have 2.5 hours of school for the afternoon. So this is going to take away one of those half hours. I don't know for which class. Taking the fact that there are only 4 class times left for the rest of the day, I've got the numbers 2 through 5 in here because I missed the first one. So let's draw this and find out what class is going to make Fenris hungry. The 4th time block, which will be shapeshifting, late class. Instead of an hour after sundown, I only get 30 minutes. And this probably is the worst one for that to happen to because I already missed this morning. So instead of a full 3 hours today, I'm only going to have an hour and a half for this class. I've lost half my time. But we don't have to worry about that till tonight. Right now, the more pressing concern is my first class of the afternoon, and that is astronomy. Got my little bookmark, and there we go. I get to start Hotel today. This is a thriller by Arthur Haley, and I will be reading this one in my Nook. So I'm going to rush to class, get my full hour and a half, and come back to y'all after I finish class. Of course, immediately after I turn off the camera, I realize I've already goofed. We're like 5 minutes into the day, and I'm already missing it. Number 4 on here. I removed number 1 from the bag, so I count from the very top. So it's actually Bog Collector that loses 30 minutes. So, okay. I will still have an hour for shapeshifting, Bog Collector, and then shapeshifting again. So we're good. Thought I'd point that out in case y'all are sitting there going, but you counted wrong. Okay, bye. I managed to finish because that was my first class of the day. Yeah, my first class of the day. It did take me like 3 times of picking up the book because stuff kept happening. I kept having to put it down and come back to it, but I got my full hour and a half. And it was so good. I'm really enjoying it. It was hard to set it down. This is going to be one that there's just so much going on. You've got a 5-star hotel down in Louisiana, New Orleans, down in the 60s. And got multiple POVs. You've got things going on in different guest rooms, emergency type situations or problems that are being dealt with. And apparently the whole book is going to be happening over the span of, I believe it's 5 days, because the owner may have to sell the hotel. I guess it's time for his mortgage to be renewed or something like that. I don't remember the details on that, but he can't find any banks that are willing to finance him because he's like an independent hotel, and the big chain hotels are starting to appear on the scene in America, and so it's harder for those independent ones to get the funding that they need. Anyway, it's a lot of behind the scenes in the hotel industry, and it was really interesting because at the very beginning there was a foreword from the author, because this book came out in 1965. It was actually used, it was like required reading, hospitality, there's hospitality college or classes like that. And because when he wrote the book, he actually moved into the Fairmont for 2 months, and he had the owner's approval and permission, and he interviewed like everybody in the hotel staff and saw all the behind the scenes on every aspect of running the hotel. And the owner told all of the employees, don't hide anything, tell them the truth. So all of like the corruption behind the scenes, it's all there. All of it, the ways that things are being scammed and run, and it's really interesting. So anyway, enough rambling about that. The clock is ticking, and I think it's closing in on 5 o'clock already. Yes, it's 4:55. And if you can hear that noise, see if she'll do it. Look. And Joey's having fun going after everything on my desk. So let's check the calendar. Here it is for you. And it looks like I have shape-shifting. I have 1 hour for this one. So let me find the bookmark in the book. Okay, this is the class that I didn't go to this morning. So hopefully the teacher is not going to glare at me too much. I might have to come up with an excuse for why I didn't appear. But, oh, yikes. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my ceiling fan. So I hope you couldn't hear the whirring in the background. Anyway, shape-shifting, book with vampires. I am going with Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. We will see how this is. So we're going from like 1965 to 1865 in that range. Although I think this was prior to him becoming president. I have seen the movie. It was really good, really gritty, with a charmed hero, which I like in my action movies sometimes, where you don't really have to worry about the good guy. So I'll have to see if the book is any better than the movie, if there's any differences, all of that fun stuff. I have 1 hour, which works out perfect because it's 5 o'clock, and my afternoon classes stop at 6. So I got to run to class and go spend some time with President Lincoln. Bye. Well, I'm here with Joey. He's going to attack everything on my desk. Clean it off for me, trying to be helpful. I guess right now he's going after the bookmark in my reading journal. I finished my class, so I managed to get the full hour. Yay. And I'm really enjoying this. It's kind of hard at first to remember that this is, altered history, of course, because it starts when Abraham Lincoln is a young boy, and it's like detailing his life, and all of a sudden the vampire aspect of it is woven through, and it starts out with, they have his journals. So history lover in me is loving the book. I just have to remember that this is definitely going to deviate from straight up historical fiction or even a biography. I did notice after I turned this off that this is by the same author of Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I remember I did get that book when that first came out. That was, those were big. These were big like in 2010, around that time. And I was that book. No, I read it and immediately took it to Half Price Books, and it was out of my house. It was just not for me. The thought of Jane and Elizabeth and all of that doing, they were behaving as ninjas and doing backflips and all that stuff while fighting zombies. It just, that did not mesh. And I just could not embrace it at all. So, no, I was not a fan of that. Hopefully, I won't feel the same way with this. I don't think I will because, like I said, I have seen the movie and I really enjoyed the movie. So, we will see. This gets quite graphic with the gore. There's been a killing and it was quite ew. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Which, again, fits with the movie, because I remember the movie being quite gory as well. Anyway, this was my last afternoon class. So let's pull up. You know what? Let's go right here between me and Joey. I've got Bog Cataloger. This is a new one. I haven't been to this class. By the way, the teacher for shapeshifting, the most I got was just kind of like a raised eyebrow and a look when I came into the classroom. Like I said, I missed it this morning, but it seems that I'm going to be able to skate under the radar and it's not going to become a big ordeal. We will have to see. This teacher may, carry a chip on their shoulder regarding me, but I don't know. We'll find out. Let me find my book. So this will be my class for the day. I should have had an hour and a half, but if you remember from this morning, our fate deck came into play. That's right, I got the little card. put an image of it up here for you. So thanks to Fenris, I'm going to lose 30 minutes of this class. So instead of having an hour and a half to get well established in it, I'm only going to have an hour. Hey, thanks for that, Fenris. Eating my homework and making me to redo things. So I guess probably what Fenris got a hold of would have been homework from my shape-shifting class that I have to go back and redo. So I didn't have any homework for this one yet because I haven't gone to class yet. So that makes sense to me. So I have no idea. I don't remember what this one is about. Oh, got curses. It's a curse, I tell ya. Lucy has 9 months in which to break an ancient curse. Oh, okay, that's right. So Lucy is 17 when she discovers that the women in her family have been cursed through the generations, forced to attempt 3 seemingly impossible tasks or fall into madness upon their child's birth. So how can Lucy succeed when all of her ancestors have tried and failed? But Lucy is the first girl who will not attempt this alone. She has her fiercely protective foster parents beside her. And she has Zach. Okay, so this was inspired by the Ballad of Scarborough Fair. I did remember that part. I can see why I bought it. Way back when, 2008. So we will see. We'll see how it is. I'm going to have an hour to find out. So I will come back in after I go to this class. I don't know. I think I might wait a little bit and then start it. It is just now like 6 o'clock. I have until 1 o'clock to finish this. No, I take that back. I would have until midnight to finish this because I still have one more class for the day and have to be finished with all of my schoolwork by 1 a.m. So plenty of time to get to this. I just got to hope that I don't get sidetracked too much and don't make it back. So, which I am known to do. The more time I have, the more I seem to flitter away. So we will see how it goes. I will be back to let y'all know how this one starts. I'm back. And I've got one class left for the day. That is shape-shifting. So I get to go back to President Lincoln and the vampires that he is determined to eradicate from America. So it's actually pretty interesting so far. Before I start that class though, I want to tell y'all Impossible I think is going to be impossible to enjoy. I am not digging the book at all. So yeah, Bog Collector so far is my least favorite class, but I haven't attended everything yet. I am in the process of 9 books now. 9. Yeah, that's right. So, you see my little shelf over here? I did manage to finish some over the weekend. Those are from my extras. And now that I've fixed it, that entire top shelf plus Chamber of Secrets, which is standing upright, I am reading all of those right now. And, yeah, I have more classes to add tomorrow. Yay. So far, my brain's not jumbled, though. It's going well. And I find myself, I'm kind of sitting around twiddling my thumbs waiting for my next one. But I have a feeling tomorrow will change that. Tomorrow is a very, very busy day. Okay, enough talking. I have to get to one more class, and it is, I think, 9:30, 9:49. So, no problem. But I'm not worried about that. I have until 1 o'clock to finish it, and I only have 1 hour of class time. So, should be fine. All right, I'm going to go find my book, scurry off to class, and yeah, that's it. So, bye. I just finished my last class. So, I got to page 112. This is quite dark and quite gruesome at times, and there's, yeah, it's not what I remember from the movie. I did discover that this afternoon, this is actually part 1, I think, of a duology. There's at least 2 books, And I'm betting the movie was probably from maybe the latter part of this and the second book, because Abraham Lincoln is still young. I think he's only reached like the age of 16 at this point. And I remember the movie being when it was, I think set when he was like a lawyer, so 20s. I don't know. I'm going from memory. Anyway, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It's really gritty and dark and violent, and they're down in the South right now, and there was like a slave auction, and it's just, yeah, it's meant to be off-putting, and it definitely has left a bad taste in my mouth, and unfortunately that's where the book ended. So I'm hoping, that some retribution will be had in regards to that, but it's just, all right. So on that note, actually, no, we're not going to leave on that note. I'm going to leave on a lighter note. I need to send Nasilla a note and tell her to buy Fenris like a bone or something, because I think he saved me a little today by cutting short my bog cataloger class. So from eating that homework, I missed 30 minutes there. I'm not digging that book either. So today's books were kind of the last portion of my day wasn't as good as the beginning portion of my day, but I'm hoping the Abraham Lincoln book will turn again a little. I'm not necessarily put off by the gore of it, but it wasn't a good place to end that book. So I got through another day of school. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day. I think, it's nonstop. I don't think there's a single class that wasn't filled. So I'm going to call it a night. I hope y'all enjoyed this, and let me know what you think about my fate deck. I think that's going to be fun, and hopefully I'm not shooting myself in the foot with those, because they seem like a really good, fun idea when I made them, and we will see if I regret it. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. Let me know how your classes are going, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.